Hey guys, I will be having a story about my teen pregnancy when I was a teenager. Sorry if you hear baby. My daughter Ava, who's 2 months old, is on my lap because she will not let me put her down in her little seat. She just wants to be with mommy, and you might see her occasionally in the story. Um, but I will be talking to you about my teen pregnancy with my daughter, Nina, who is now 7. So where can I start? I got pregnant when I was 17 years old, um, about to be a senior in high school. I went to a small school um, that only had like, let me say, only had like 100 kids in it. Yeah, but it was a small school, and I was able to go to school while I was pregnant. And what else? Um, I was the only girl in my school actually that was pregnant senior year, and my mom let me continue going to school while pregnant. Um, and I found out I was pregnant for fun actually. Um, it wasn't something that I planned on doing at all, but it was for like something that I did just to do, like, let me take a pregnancy test because I was supposed to get my period um either that day or the next day, and it didn't come, so I had a random pregnancy test lying around in my room. So I had put it hi I had put it down, um and no, scratch that. I had a pregnancy test lying around somewhere in my room, and I decided for fun to you do it, to pee on it. Um, when I did it, I did not think that it would say positive. I thought that it would be negative. So, and my best friend at the time, who used to be my best friend, um, she was there because we were having a sleepover, and I remember going into the bathroom, taking the pregnancy test, and as soon as I saw those two lines, I was like, holy yeah. So I went out and I called her, and I was like, oh my gosh, come, look at this. I was like, I just took a pregnancy test and it says it's positive. Oh my god, could this be true? And I remember talking to her, and we both didn't think that it was true, or at least I was in denial, and I was like, I was in denial, and I was like, I need to take some more just to make sure that, you know, that this is real. So I asked my mom to take me to um, the mall so we can buy some more tests. And her and I went to Target, and we got like different tests, like the line test, the one that actually says that you're pregnant, and everything, because I like didn't believe it. So I believe I took like 4 or 5 tests that day, and in the bathroom in the mall, and they all said positive. And even after those 4 or 5 tests, I still didn't believe it. So I actually went home. Her and I went home, and I was kind of like freaking out because I was like, oh, how am I going to tell my mom what's going on? Because I remember my mom had said if I ever got pregnant, she would kick me out. And part of me believed it, and part of me didn't believe it, but I was afraid of her reaction. So that night I decided to text my mom's friend, who I believe lived around the corner from us at the time, and asked her, I was like, if you've taken 4 pregnancy tests and they all say positive, does it mean that you're pregnant? And it was before I had said that before I went to bed, and my friend and I went to bed. I hadn't planned on telling my mom at all. It probably was a stupid idea for me to actually text my mom's friend that question, because the next morning um, I woke up with a text message that says you're pregnant. You need to talk to your mother. And then boom, my mom walked in the door, phone, up to her face, and she's like, obviously talking to her friend who I texted, and my mom looks really concerned. And I remember in the text message also said, like, if you don't tell your mom, I will. So I'm sure she was calling my mom to see if I told her. And so my friend was still sleeping over in the room, and she was sleeping over, and my mom was like, okay. So she got off the phone. No, actually, she handed me the phone with her friend on the phone, and she was like, you need to tell your mom or I'm going to tell her. So I knew at that moment that I needed to talk to my mom and let her know what was going on. So I hung up the phone, and I went into my mom's room, and my mom sat on her bed, and she was like, what is it? And you could tell my mom was like concerned and or worried. And I was like, well, I took a pregnancy test, and it said that I was pregnant. And you could hear my mom give the loudest scream ever and was crying. Um, she was devastated and sad, and I'm sure she was ashamed that her 17-year-old daughter, about to be a senior, still in high school, was pregnant. And I felt a little bad too. And I just remember my mom, she couldn't talk to me forever. Like, she was so disappointed in me, she couldn't talk to me. So we didn't talk for a long time. And I remember my mom was like, I couldn't stay with her if I was going to keep a baby. And she told me that, she had said that if I got pregnant, how I had to leave. And I had to, I couldn't live there. So I let that sink in. And my mom was really mad at me. I still went to doctor's appointments. At my school, I didn't believe it. So I told my mom to take me to the doctor so I could get a blood test, because, I wanted the blood proof so that the doctor could confirm it. And I remember my mom taking me there. She was like, it's still going to say the same. So I don't know, why I'm doing it, because it's still going to say the same thing. It's not going to change. But, I thought maybe that the test was wrong. So, my mom took me to Kaiser, which was my insurance, and I went in and I got a blood test, and I think like an hour later or something, I got the results back, and it confirmed that I was pregnant. And I still was in denial. And so the next day I was going to school, so I took the paper with me. And my assistant principal, I took the paper in, and that whole day I was just thinking about it, just worried and sad. And I took the paper with me to school, and when I had the time and the chance, I took it and I asked my assistant principal, um, what did it mean? Because I still didn't understand that piece of paper. And she explained it to me. She told me, you are pregnant. You are pregnant. You are carrying a baby. She wanted to know, what was my mom's reaction, and, so I told her everything. I said my mom didn't want me, to live with her, because I was pregnant, and I don't know what else to do. I don't want to get rid of my baby. Um, and so there was a counselor that would come to our school and talk to kids, because I went to a school, for kids who, you know, it's not an alternative school, but it was a school for kids who couldn't be in public school or needed that small school setting so they could be on track. A lot of the kids in my school were smart. Um, they just couldn't function in, you know, a big area, um, in the public school setting. So I had talked to the counselor and I told her what was going on, and how my mom and we went to different places to see where I could live while pregnant. And there was two. And my mom was trying to get me into this place called St. Anne's. And it was full at the time, so they couldn't accept me. So I had to go to another place in Virginia, which is, I didn't want to go there. Basically, that place, you live there when you're pregnant. Like, you live with other girls who are pregnant. But when it comes down to birth, you have to actually have to have a birth plan. And if you don't have a place to stay after you have your baby, a job, or all that other extra stuff you need as an adult when you do have children, and you're more mature, or whatever you call it, because a lot of young kids are mature and can raise a baby. But at my age, I didn't have a job. I was still in school, and so I couldn't really do it. Um, if you didn't have, but if you got in the hospital when you had your child, that baby will be taken from you. And I think that killed me inside, because I was like, I'm young, I don't have a job, my mom wants to kick me out, my mom's not going to help, and, God forbid, I don't want my child to be taken from me. Being adopted myself, I feared that I would have a baby and my baby would not, know her mom like I did. And that was one thing that I would not do. So I told the counselor what was going on, and I told her about St. Anne's, and she actually was the one who got me into St. Anne's. Because she talked to people who talked to people who told them about me, and they called my mom, and I was able to do an interview and look around and all of that, and snap a finger, I was able to go. So I stayed at my mom's house until I was like 4 months. I actually went there a day after my birthday, which was really sad. But I went a day after my birthday, and I lived with a bunch of other girls who had kids. And it was a fun experience. I'm not going to say there was some good and there was some bad to that. Um, my thing is, it's not that hard. You have to follow rules. You get an allowance. You have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then you can have your own food up there, in the refrigerator, or stored in your room if it's not open, or like noodles or whatever, anything dry you can put in your room. You have to keep your room clean. You had to make sure every morning your bed was made, your room was tidy, laundry put up, all of that. They had chores, we had a schedule that we had to follow. Some girls went to school there, but I was one of the lucky ones. I got to stay in my school and go there, which was fun. So I got to go out every day and, enjoy the fresh air and talk to my friends still. And, the only thing I think was bad about it really was, there was always drama, but that's, that's what happens when you live with girls. There's drama. You just have to learn how to take yourself out of that. And I think eventually I learned, to stay to yourself and, don't get involved in the cattiness. Um, so, huh. I I liked it. It was like jail though. So you couldn't have a cell phone. That was the one thing, you could have a cell phone, so a lot of us would sneak a cell phone in, and we would get in a lot of trouble if we were found. And sometimes they do room checks where they check to make sure you're not have a cell phone. And if you got caught with a cell phone, you would be on red, which means you could not go home for the weekends. So they had colors. They had red, yellow, and green. I think green meant you could go home. You could go out on walks and, get your nails done, or, go to food, go to the mall if they took you to the mall. Green meant, I said green already. Red meant you couldn't do nothing. So you couldn't go out on the weekends, you couldn't go out on walks, you couldn't go to the mall if they took you to the mall, you couldn't do nothing. You had to stay in there and pretty much be bored. And yellow meant you could, go on walks, you could go to places, I think, but you could not go home, I want to say, I think that it was. But I'm not pretty sure, but yeah, and we had counselors there also that we met with occasionally. And what else? The counselors approved our weekend passes, so if they didn't approve us to go on the weekends, then we couldn't go. And we also had the person we go to had to be on our list of people to go home to, and they had to actually call them and confirm that we're actually going there. So if they didn't answer and it was confirmed, then you will be there for the weekend. Um, so I had my baby in November, and I stayed at St. Anne's until I graduated high school, and I was supposed to transition to the independent living program they had there that was across the street from them. And let's just say didn't work out. You actually had to get a job to transition there, and I remember in the summertime, close to the summertime, like applying to jobs, different places. I actually got to go on the metro and apply to different places, go to different jobs and places, try to get a job for the summer so I can go transition to the independent living program. Based on your income is how much you had to pay for housing, and you could have a choice of going to school also, but I was just going to work with my daughter. Um, and they had free daycare also, so it was convenient. But I couldn't find a job, so I couldn't go to the independent living program. And I remember my mom was like, I couldn't live with her after, even after I had my baby, and was going to go to transition to the independent living program. My mom was just like, no, no, I can't come. So I was really discouraged and nervous, and I had a friend there whose mom was helping me look for places in DC for when I left. But my mom actually did finally say, I could actually live with her. So I remember I graduated high school. They had like a little party for us there, and they set a date for me to leave. Um, to leave and pack up my stuff and go home. And I packed up my stuff and I went home and I lived with my mom and my daughter. I think my daughter was like November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. She was like 7, 8 months when I moved. Sorry, I had to count. I'm not good at math, but yeah, she was 7 months when I moved back home, and it was fun. So yeah, but thank you for watching my video, and that is all for my hit subscribe and like this video. Thank you. Bye.